Hi, I am Veronica, aka Vespertilio. I am an Italian full-time artist with works that range from comic books, tarot cards, teaching and more. On this channel I share my personal experience as a professional artist through my art lessons, doing my best to bring you information and artistic education, as well as comfort, inspiration and motivation. Today you are meeting the artist. This channel has grown a lot lately and today we are answering your questions about your spooky art teacher.
It's me again, yours truly.
As usual, the video is divided in chapters and each chapter has its questions. First we are going to talk about my OC, then about content, next about work, and only lastly about me. You'll find the complete timeline with the questions in the description below and in the first pinned comment. And with that said, let's get to know each other. About my OC. What was the process of creating your OC? Is your character more of a sona or an OC? So, it's both actually. Regarding the process, anyway, I have a new camera, I don't know if you noticed, so today we are very technologic. This character is really important to me because when I created it, it was actually my art sona. And the reason I created this art sona was to come back to something I loved to do when I was a teenager. When I was in high school, I used to draw and to create comics and illustrations with my original characters. Oops. And I loved to put myself in those drawings. And it was something that really was like playing as a child in a way. And I stopped doing that because people around me, also close people around me that are not so close to me anymore, used to say that it was unprofessional or childish, and so they basically talked me out of that. And when I was struggling with getting back my inspiration, I was trying to get back to those things that made me want to make art and to draw, basically. And one day, scrolling through TikTok, I stumbled upon this artist, this girl, that used to draw herself as a little cartoon. And I said, oh my god, I remember when I did that and that made me so happy. I want to start doing it again. Let me show you. This is a bullet notebook from Fuji that I used as a sketchbook. Here I hadn't already created Vespertilio, but I used to draw myself as a girl but here we have first something that kind of looks like her, and this is from the 24th and 26th August 2021, and also here we have another one, and this is the sketchbook that slowly started bringing me back to making art. So also these ones, and this is the moment when I was obsessed with centaurettes basically. And then we're going to hear a lot of cats complaining during this video. So with that said, here is basically where I started drawing Vespertilio for the first time. So here is my very first time drawing myself as Vespertilio basically. And at the start she was literally so silly. This is like the first more defined version of her, really silly looking. This was like a little exercise where you had to draw yourself like you felt you looked like, and then you had to draw yourself from a picture, basically make a regular self-portrait. And this is how I used to draw her basically. She looked much more like me, and also she had a full face basically. And then the first time I drew her and looking like how she looks today, I didn't have with me my sketchbook actually, and I was drawing on a regular piece of paper. And this is a very kind of a funny story, but basically the reason why her face looks like that is because I was too lazy to try draw her properly. This is the drawing. I used to draw her like this basically. She had like regular eyes and everything. And then I wanted to draw her 3/4. I couldn't figure out the eyes, and so I just made those two little lines, and the rest is history. I just looked at her and thought, this is so cute. My thought was, I feel like this. This is how I feel. This is how I feel. So I'm keeping this. This is me. So yeah, that is it. And from that moment on, I kept drawing her without the fear of people saying, oh, the character looks like you. And that was something that, because of those people telling me that drawing yourself was something childish and unprofessional, every time I made a drawing and people told me that the character looked like me, I would feel so offended, because I would feel like, how dare you say I am so self-centered and I have such an ego to draw myself. That was just so stupid. So I literally got rid of that fear by drawing myself. So every time people would say, she looks like you, I would say, that's me. So that was great. What happened is that I don't think I have those sketchbooks here, but I have this one. So I made a challenge. The real challenge was to draw every day for 100 days and then for a year. And I couldn't do for a year, but I did it for more than 6 months. I did it for 243 days exactly. Not only I did all of these like single sketches, but at that time I was still working on my tarot deck, and I was working on other projects, and I would do commissions. So I drew like a lot more drawings than 243. But basically what happened is that I started drawing her basically every day. And you can find actually the sketchbook tool for this sketchbook on this channel. And while drawing her, at this point she already was my original character, but by drawing her every day, I started realizing she was more than an art sona. I started realizing how important she was to a lot of people and to me. And so she was no longer just a way to draw myself. She was like a daughter to me, basically. And she's my creature. Look at this. Look at the difference. I mean, she's still the same, but look, oh my God, look at this. I think she grows. I mean, she grows with every drawing I do. She's always herself, but she's grown. She's a grown woman now. And I actually have a drawing that, yes, this one. This drawing right here, I did a post in comparison with this drawing right here, just to show how she has grown in like a couple of years, basically. So that's how she became my original character. She'll always be a part of me, and I'll always be part of her, of course. But yeah, she became much more than just an art sona, and that's maybe the reason why she's such a comfort character to me. I could actually link to the next question, that is, how do you keep being invested in drawing the same character over and over again? And the reason is that I know that she's always here whenever I want to draw, because whenever I don't know what to draw, I can just draw her in the most random I mean, look at this. This is not thought at all. It's her like riding a candle with a dagger behind her and pieces of skulls and a spider web. This doesn't make sense, but also those are such random things. I had pain in my teeth this day. I can't like get tired of her, because I kind of owe her my actual renewed artistic happiness. So yeah, she's my comfort character. I mean, I can't help it. I love her. Next. So now we're moving to the next chapter, that is about content. Are you planning on doing any art vlogs or vlogs in general? So I bought a camera. This is my very first like proper vlog camera. Mwah! The quality is amazing. The microphone is very useful because the other microphone is a little better since it's attached to my computer, and it was also a quite expensive one, but every time to sync video and audio was just a mess because Oh yeah, I have a new camera. So I used to do vlogs, but nowadays I'm not really comfortable in doing vlogs because I found my path on YouTube in like helping you with your artistic journey, and it's something I'm really passionate about, and it's something that maybe is also helping me with being like consistent with these videos, because it's, as I said, something that I'm really passionate about. So to just do vlogs, I don't know how I would feel about that in this moment, but I thought I could do like useful vlogs. Like I would like to do a video, let's just spoil this. Tips and tricks on how to start approaching drawing outside. To do that video, I think I might like vlog a day out drawing outside and just show you what I do, what I bring with me, etc. Share something useful out of a vlog. That's what I'd like to do with my vlogs. Tips on how to be more confident when drawing in public, which is something I had struggled with. Yeah, that is the idea. How did you decide to go from speaking Italian in your videos to speaking in English? And would you do content in both languages? So, very briefly, my Instagram account grew a lot, and most of my community doesn't speak Italian, basically. So some people started like complaining that in my stories I kept speaking in Italian, and so I thought I wanted to come back to YouTube, and I thought I can come back to YouTube and start doing English videos again. That was something I already used to do, and I decided, why not? Let's do it again and see what happens. Another thing that really pushed me to make videos in English is that I know you'll think I'm good with English, but I'm really rusty. I used to be way more fluent in English in my teenage years. So this is like an excuse to practice English, basically. And as to do content in both languages, maybe and probably I will on my short form videos, but on YouTube at the moment it's not something I have in mind. Next chapter is about work. How do you create your stickers? What do you use? So one thing I always forget to mention is that I have a shop on coffee, and I only ship to Italy, because right now I'm pretty comfortable in using like regular post office services. But for that reason, worldwide shipping is really, really expensive. Pipina! And even though people might want to pay that much, I'm not comfortable in making people pay that much for my stuff. But I have digital products, if you want. The fact is that I sell stickers, and the process of creating those stickers is actually like the easiest of all my products, because I use Sticker Mule, and this is not sponsored, of course. I use Sticker Mule, and I tried it once. I really liked it. I just either take a picture of what I want to use as a sticker, or like scan it and put it on my computer. Then I cut it out with Procreate, and I send the PNG to Sticker Mule, and they do their thing, and yeah, it's great. I was wondering if you were ever thinking I can do it. I was wondering if you were ever thinking of maybe selling your line art for us to color. And the answer is yes, why not? I love this question. I think it's actually a very cute idea, so why not? I might do it. I might put it on my coffee as a digital product. One thing I like to do is to actually make my digital products, lots of them are for free, and then there is enabled an option that is pay what you want, so that if you want to like support my work and my channel and whatever, my content, you can decide how much you want to pay, or else you can just take it for free. And I think the first one I might do of this, since it was your idea, I might make it available for free, and then whoever wants to, yeah, they can do it. Will you ever make an art book or maybe a zine? So I already have done zines. Both of them are like magic and witchcraft and occult themed. So the first one is about the magic of the moon and the moon phases. One thing I like to do is to create my zines so that opened up they still look like pretty posters basically. So this is the first one. And as I said, it's about the magic of the moon. It's called Vespertilio Notes on Moon Witchcraft. And it has all the moon phases and like some parts on crystals and moon water and stuff like that. And it has my illustrations. And I don't have a closed one right now, but I have this other one that is Vespertilio Notes on the Zodiac, and I can actually show you how it looks like. So I dropped water on the original one and I couldn't care to correct it because I thought it looked in a way more magical, so I kept that. So here is the Vespertilio as the astrological body with all the zodiac signs according to the body part they are associated with. So here she is. And then those are all the zodiac signs with some informations. And then there are all the planets with the houses, etc. Of course, the zodiac anatomy and with all the zodiac signs placed on the right body part. That is it. And if you see it all open, it still looks like this part can be hanged like a little poster basically. So if you are interested in those zines, because I actually always gift those, I can upload those on my Coffee too, and you can just print those out if you want. Let me know. Hi, it is another day. So remember when earlier I was saying that this new camera was great because it had a microphone, and so it was easier to have just the video syncing up with the audio. Well, turns out that if you take very long videos, and mine was like a 50 minutes long video, turns out that while your microphone slowly dies, so does like the connection basically. While the video was going, I started noticing that it slowly was going more and more out of sync. And so yeah, let's keep going with the questions. Will you ever make an art book? I have all the intention of making an art book. I have other projects coming next, and I already am talking about this in my Instagram. But for art books, I don't have anything like already in mind at the moment. I want to do one, but not at the moment. After comics and tarot cards, what's next? So one tip I want to give you is avoid talking about your next projects, your future projects, just like with anybody. Choose wisely few very trusted people who you are 100% sure are going to be supportive of your work and are not going to just criticize it out of jealousy or like out of prejudice or stuff like that. Choose wisely those people, and if you don't have anyone to like fully trust, don't tell anybody. I don't talk about future projects unless they are already on their way. I didn't reveal like to my community that I was going to have my tarot deck published until I had signed the contract and started working on it. So before that, I didn't tell basically anybody, because my thought is it is better to not tell anyone and surprise people than tell people you want to do something and then eventually don't be able to do it. Don't reveal things until they are done, basically. Will you ever make a comic book about your Rosie's life? Who knows? At the moment, it's not something I'm really comfortable with. It's not an idea that I think of very often, I do sometimes little short comics with her and with other characters from her universe, like Meditore, Matijan, Gorgo, etc., Vespertelio. But a whole comic book about her, it's not something that I am planning to do in the next future. Do you do commissions? Not at the moment. I used to do commissions, and for a couple of years I was able to do commissions pretty frequently, but right now I'm just really busy with other projects and books and stuff like that, and YouTube, of course. I have 2 commissions actually that I still have to do. I asked them if they preferred to have a refund or they were willing to wait for when I was more free to work on their commissions, and they were 3 clients actually. One asked for a refund and I gave it to them right away because, of course, and the other 2 actually were okay with waiting. So thank you again for your support, guys. And yeah, not at the moment, so no, I don't do commissions at the moment. What do you do to prevent injuries with all that inking? Have you been close to having carpal tunnel syndrome? Is there anything you could recommend akin to those health issues to newer artists? So, yes, keep in mind that I've never met a professional artist that would not suffer from like arm pain or back pain. I personally have pain in my arm when I work in the wrong way, and I'm going to get there in a minute. More often I would suffer neck pain. That is something I kind of struggle with, but thank God not in a regular basis, because let's say that my tip for this, my advice for this is to work slowly, take it slow. I know it can be tempting to rush because you want to see your work finished, you want to have it all pretty and beautiful and perfect and done, but if you rush with inking, you'll get hurt. Every time I rush with drawing or even in writing, all this part starts hurting like crazy, and it actually gets up to my ear many times, and in the worst cases it can go up to my eye and my temple. So it really affects my health in a way. So what I do is I try my best to avoid those scenarios. So I take breaks, I work slowly. A drawing that can take me like 3 hours, let's say, I spread it in a day. So I would do the pencil sketch very slowly, take my time, erase, study what I have to do, etc. in the morning. Then in the afternoon, I can start with the line art and maybe take a break and then go back to it and work until the evening with the inking, and just take my time, watch some YouTube videos, listen to podcasts and things like that, and also listen to music. You might ask, what do you do when you have deadlines? So the trick is that when you are in the talking stage with publishers or writers or clients in general, they would propose a deadline. And it happened before that I would say this deadline is too close for my work schedule. Because when I have to do something, when I have to do a job, I usually, at this point, I know how much it will take to do that job. And I want to do a video about this, but basically what I do, for example, in a week, 7 days, okay? In a week, I always count 5 days of work and 2 free days. Not because I want to have 2 free days, because anything can happen. Then you have 2 extra days in that week to get back to work. Sometimes that kind of happens, that still happens, because there are times when, for example, I would have to do some comic book pages, let's say, and at the same time I would get commissions, and so I would draw multiple things in that week. And what I do in those scenarios is I draw with a piece of ice wrapped in a cloth under my arm. So like I feel pain here, but I like try to ease it with the ice, and I also take something to kill the pain basically, but nothing crazy, of course. And yeah, that is the worst case scenario. So like the last time I had pain in my arm was because I was writing too much. And so I got into journaling recently, and I'm writing a lot, and I am starting to learn that I also have to write slowly, and I don't have to rush, because it's the same with drawing. So my number one advice is do not rush. Take your time. If you have a deadline, schedule your deadlines according to how much time you need. And lastly, last part is about me, and I want to rush through this part because this video is already so long. So here we are, about me. For how many years have you been making art? So I've been drawing since I can remember. So I don't recall a time where I wasn't at least scribbling. If we want to say making art in a more professional way, I've been a professional artist since 2018, when my first graphic novel got published, basically. Making art, not scribbling, like probably making art since my teenage years, let's say. How did you come up with your fashion style? So it's thanks to Espertilio, actually. Some of you might already have learned that I like to surround myself with things that inspire me in my inspiration video. Another thing I do is I look for pictures through Pinterest. I used to like save pins about fashion because I like to make Vespertilio wear things that reflect her aesthetic, basically. I remember that I started thinking, oh my god, those outfits, those garments are so good, so on point, so like something I would wear in my wildest dreams. And then I thought, why can't I dress like that? Why can't I just dress like that? And so one thing that really helped me build my actual wardrobe was starting to go to thrift shops and studying thrifting, also online thrifting. I never thought that could have been possible, but I found more interesting pieces fitting the aesthetic I wanted to get through thrift shops than in any other like shop. How is the life of an art teacher going on for you? Very good. Thank you very much for asking. So my students are great, I have to say. We recently had a class on character design, and they had to make a mood board and do their research and then create characters, and they were all so interesting. So I was very proud of their homework for those classes, and yeah, they're great. And I'm very happy I had the chance to start teaching, because it is something that I used to dream when I was like a teenager, because when I was in middle school, I didn't have a great time. I might talk about this another time, but I didn't have a great time in middle school until in my third year. And a teacher kind of saved my life in a way, because I was struggling to feel like I belonged somewhere, and he actually made me feel like I might have been an artist. And he was an art teacher, of course, and he just was genuinely interested in my artistic education, and was actually the person that pushed me to pursue my artistic education and go to art high school, which is something we have here in Italy, basically. So yeah, I'm very happy I had this chance. What is your zodiac sign? So I'll tell you my big three now. I am Capricorn Sun, Taurus Moon, and Pisces Rising. What are your peeves in art and life in general? The thing that bothers me the most are people who are mean with the excuse of being honest. The fact is that while being kind and graceful, you can still be honest and also criticize another person. There's literally no need to be mean and to hurt somebody else. And that is also something that I cannot stand art-wise. When other artists criticize the work of a fellow artist and they do it like in the meanest way possible, and when they are confronted with the reality of the fact that they were just mean, they would hit you with the you can take criticism, or you can defend this person because they can take criticism. I'm just being honest. You're not being honest. You're being rude. You're being mean. I'm sorry. That is something that bothers me. I'm a teacher. I am able to tell one of my students they need to improve or they did something wrong. And I am able to say that without hurting their feelings, without being mean. So yeah, that's it. That is something I can stand. How did you learn such good English? So I want to improve, because there's always room for improvement. Every time I practice English, I improve. So that is very good. I learned English. So I learned English from two main sources. School. We used to have English classes in school, from elementary school to high school, basically. And also because my mom likes to watch movies in their original language, and most of those movies were in English, and so me and also my sister would watch those movies, and we kind of became used to those sounds, basically. Another thing, there is also a third source that helped me learn English like this, and is the fact that I used to study to become a musical performer and I used to do musical theater, and many times I would practice on English pieces, on things from Broadway and West End and so on, and those are all in English, of course, and so I would practice with singing and acting in English, and that also helped a lot. How many and what kind of pets do you have? What's their name? Does your OC also have pets? I have 3 pets. One is at my parents' house, and he's with my sister, basically, and he's a gray cat, and his name is Cumberbatch, like the actor. I'll give no further explanations. And then I have 2 sisters, 2 cats, that are Merry and Pipina, and they are called after Merry and Pippin from Lord of the Rings. And so Merry is the one with long fur, and Pipina is the one with short fur, and they have always something to say when I film my videos. They are being quite quiet right now, but does your OC also have pets? She doesn't, but cats are interdimensional creatures, so Mary and Pipina would jump through dimensions every now and then, and hang out with Vespertilio in her universe. Last question is, do you have tattoos? And I have 2, and they are both related to my love for music. So I have this little note right here, and then I have this tattoo here that says "Keep Singing," and this is actually a Little Mermaid themed tattoo. So it says "Keep Singing," like the part when Ursula is stealing Ariel's voice and goes "Keep singing," and Ariel sings. And it also has Ursula's shell. It is a reminder not only to keep singing, but also to keep dreaming. Because if you read The Little Mermaid from Anderson, it is a love story, and it is a story about a lost love, and it's very, very sad if you know the story of the author. But I think I've always felt like the animated picture, the story was more about chasing your dreams than chasing love, because Ariel's main reason to go explore the human world was because she wanted to become a human, not because she fell in love with a human. The reason why she fell in love with a human was because she was curious about their world, and she would go up on the surface because she was genuinely in love with the human world. And the fact she fell in love with a human was just like a consequence. I'm very passionate about The Little Mermaid, I'm sorry. For The Little Shell, I am a girl from a town by the sea, so yeah. And with that said, this is the end of the video. I'm sorry we had to change camera. So yeah, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope we got to know each other a bit more with all these questions. And if you have more questions, I'll try to answer in the comments below. And also, as usual, if you have any suggestions or requests for future videos, please feel free to leave them in a comment below. I will see you very soon with more art tips. In the meantime, let's make art. Bye!